If you guys are sick of wasting money on packs, go check out my sponsor. They offer the cheapest and most reliable way to buy coins straight from the source. Use code MAZE at checkout for 15% off your entire order.
We brought the forward door. We gotta get ready for war. I ain't fuck a bitch so long I fucked her in a Honda Accord. What's going on, boys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Weekend League recap. This here is part 3 of this past weekend's Weekend League. So we're going over games 11 through 15. If you missed parts 1 and 2, stop the video, pause it, go watch part 1 and 2. My record is currently 9-1 as we go into game 11. And in this part right here, guys, we have probably my craziest game all year. It was a wild one, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it. So strap in your seatbelt or something like that. And of course, as always, before we get into the gameplay, we got to go over the best and the worst comment of the day. The best comment coming from Gucci Sosa, who said, "Maze is the first cute hillbilly I've seen." Yeehaw then, brother. And the worst comment of the day coming from the entertainina talking sports burner. He said, "L Maze, I love the content, but don't disrespect us Giants fans. Ever." Or what, bro? You're gonna be feeling really disrespected after Sunday comes and the Raiders stomp your ass, boy. Two last things before we get into the video. The first is right after this video goes live, I'm gonna be streaming all 25 Weekend League games live on Twitch at twitch.tv/mazomatic. I'm going to a wedding this weekend, so I'm not going to be able to play the rest of the weekend. So we got to finish all our games here Thursday night. And then the second thing is, if you do want to learn how to run my offense exactly the way I run it, I created an entire course over on mazomatic.com that details every route combo and everything I do in my offense to win more games in Madden. So once again, you can find that ebook over at mazomatic.com. And I hope you guys enjoy the video. Here's what the team is looking like if you missed parts 1 or 2. We actually haven't changed anything because we played all these games consecutively. So we're going to have the same team throughout all of these videos. Dagger Dig Dan with Hot Route Master, still our quarterback. And on defense, the two main players I want to talk about are Ronnie Lott and Ed Reed. I feel like Ronnie Lott has better stats than Ed Reed, but for some reason, he just feels slow. It doesn't seem like he makes many plays, and I'm constantly seeing him get burnt while Ed Reed is the one making all these crazy plays. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. I feel like Ronnie Lott has been a little bit underwhelming for me, and I'm curious if anybody else is feeling the same way. But getting into this next game, we are 9-1, so a very good start so far, and hoping to keep the momentum going, starting on the offensive side of the ball. And you see we've got a little baby dot early. We notice this guy is in man coverage and cover 2 mostly, and we ran this little seams play right here. And you guys are going to notice me throw this quite a bit. If you just run the seams, it's literally just 4 streaks. If it's cover 3, a lot of times you can get the bomb. Like right here, this is a cover 3. You see one of the streaks is going to be open. But if it's not a cover 3 and you just wait, usually one of the receivers will bounce back on the route and you can just throw it in that wide open gap. So we did that, drove down the field, scored obviously, and now we decided to go for 2. We have a couple really nice 2-point plays, and so if you get 8 points early, it actually puts a lot of pressure on your opponent, because even if they drive down and have an easy touchdown drive, if you can stop them on the 2-point play, you now have a lead. And so overall, I feel like a lot of players don't have like labbed 2-point plays. So if you got a couple and that's the game you want to play, you're prepared for that, they're not, then you kind of hold the power there in terms of how the rest of the game is going to go. Also, if you happen to not convert on your 2-point conversion, you can go for 2 again on the next touchdown and then make up for it. Because if you don't get the 2-point, majority of the time your opponent is just going to take his PAT and not actually go up by 2 points. So you have an opportunity on your next touchdown to actually make up for the missed extra point. So that might have sounded confusing, but overall, I feel like just going for 2 in Madden 22 is going to give you a lot of benefits if you actually are good at it. Now, you saw we got an interception from Charles Woodson, and there's about 3 minutes left in the half. We already have an 8-0 lead. My opponent is getting the ball in the second half. So what I wanted to do here was take up the rest of the clock, score a touchdown, and we did it beautifully. So now we end up going for 2 again. It's going to make it a 16-0 game. And like I said, he's getting the ball in the second half, but there's a ton of pressure on him to convert these 2-point conversions. He didn't even want to deal with it, and so he quits out. And that brings our record to 10-1. So once again, just adding to this great run we're on. We've only lost that 1 game, and I feel like even that game, we just played pretty poorly. So going into the next one, my opponent's got Dan Marino as well. He's also got better receivers than me because he's got the brand new limited Brandon Marshall. And on the first play of the game, we had a little just, you know, again, baby dot, checking down, trying to see what defense he's in. Saw he was in a cover 2, so we decided to run a cover 2 bomb, and we connect with it for the first touchdown of the game. If you guys want to learn how to run that, that's in my motherfucking ebook, baby. Mazomatic.com. Get it while it's hot. Back on the defensive side of the ball now, and we scored on our first drive. We forgot to go for 2 because that is something I'm getting used to still. I honestly forget to go for 2 half the time. Like, I plan to, and then I just kick the extra point without thinking. But now my opponent's got the ball, and he hits it to this little miniature mini-me version of Derrick Henry, who looks really fast. And I realize this guy's got the Halloween +2 speed strategy card on, and it doesn't seem to be affecting Derrick Henry's physicality. I would think if he gets +2 speed, but he's a little bit smaller, maybe he's not going to break as many tackles. If you guys are going to see in this game, he broke a shit ton of tackles. Beautiful spin move right there. Take a couple ankles, take a couple cheeks, and we get tackled around the 25-yard line. Take another look at this, though. Look at Cordero Patterson. This dude, I think, is by far the best running back in the game. He's like a receiving back, and he's very elusive. He's good at breaking tackles. If you're not using Cordero already, I would recommend it. But because of his efforts, we are now in the red zone, and we fire another dot to the sideline. This one looked like it was in, but we're down at the 1, and now it's up to Danny boy. Dan, you better get this shit, little pussy boy. Are you little pussy boy, Dan? Is that what you are, you're little pussy boy, Dan? Come on, buddy. No, you're not. Dan, don't be a little pussy boy. I know you can get this, buddy. Dan, the little pussy boy. He's not a little pussy boy. So shout out to Dan for not being a little pussy boy, getting us the touchdown. And with that, we take a 7-point lead. Once again, I forgot to go for 2, which is kind of frustrating. But we're playing great defense here on 3rd and 7. Everything looked like it was bagged, and he gets hit as he throws it. Now 4th and 7. We're manning up the left side, sending him pretty aggressive blitz, and then he decides to audible. So we got to switch up our whole defense, which doing on the fly can be pretty tough sometimes. We get ran by with our user, and because we didn't click on, Mike Haynes is able to come over and make a play. If you see his little mini George Kittle, which is speed bursted, runs by Jalen Ramsey. He tries the rat catch, but if you get hit while you're rat catching, a lot of times you're going to drop it. So I'm very thankful that Mike Haynes was able to come over and make that play. And if I'm being totally honest, I think if I click on right there, I probably get like out of reach or something, and we don't make that play. So little tip there. I would recommend not clicking on this year. Be a good little Timmy. Don't click on, and EA will reward you. We end up scoring a touchdown. This time we remember to go for 2, and we get it, of course. And now we have a 15-point, pretty nice lead. And so this is a situation where people start to get a little flustered. You know, there's 2:30 left in the half. He's going to try to make up all these points and do it quickly, and that's when people start to make mistakes. So 1st and 10, we notice he's checking down to Derrick Henry quite a bit. And like I said, despite him being a little miniature version of himself, he's kind of making us look like bitches. He's trucking everybody, breaking tackles. Ronnie Lott, as I mentioned earlier, a piece of shit, drops a wide open interception, and my opponent's drive stays alive. And as you guys know, anytime you drop a pick or you get cheated, your opponent 100%, 10 out of 10 times is going to score on that drive. It's just nothing more you can do. So there's a minute left in the half. We already know this guy's going to score this drive. He checks it down to Derrick Henry again. And take a look at this little man. He's tiny, bro. He's like a faster, smaller, stronger version of himself. He's like Hasbulla. He's like Hasbulla. That's not Derrick Henry. That's Hasbulla. Man, 2 guys on the ground. Derrick Henry's the man to blame. And now my opponent decides to go for 2. So he decides to go for it early, which is probably a smart call. We had that guy manned up, but I think my guys got like bumped into each other or something, and he ends up converting. So now we're only up 7 points. We kind of had a pretty nice situation we were in, and now it's all gone. We got to go down with 48 seconds and hopefully get a touchdown here to establish our lead once again. 1st and 10, we're looking at the corner over there. We get it, and we're driving pretty easily. You see, we're getting out of bounds. We're saving our timeouts, and that's exactly what we want to do. So if he's going to continue to give us the sidelines, we're just going to continue to take it the whole way down the field. Because even though 2 timeouts seems nice, it's really not that much. If you throw 2 short passes over the middle, those timeouts are gone. And so if you can get to the sideline at any point during the drive, it's a win. And right there was a little bit risky. It was manned up wheel route. We ended up throwing it anyways, but we stalled out inside the red zone. Thankfully, we chewed off the clock. We go up by 10 points now. And honestly, a 2-possession lead in Madden 22 in the second half, your chances of winning are very high. Unless you make a mistake, you're probably going to win that game. So my goal here is, even if I give up points on this drive, I want to make my opponent use as much clock as possible. That way, if I go down and score again on my next drive, that game is pretty much over. Ronnie Lott, once again, not looking the quickest out there. And I know I said that Ed Reed is my other safety. I feel like Ed Reed makes that play. And I've seen Ed Reed make that play. Ronnie Lott, just something about the way he plays. I don't know if it's his acceleration, his change in direction. I have no idea why Ronnie Lott just plays kind of shitty. But he might be being replaced soon, or maybe just not used as a high safety. I might switch Ronnie Lott into something over the middle, or like a cloud flat or something in my defense. But regardless, we have the ball back now. We're only up 3. We got to go down and get 7. Because if we get 3 points, my opponent can easily drive down, get a touchdown himself, and then take the lead. So obviously, the goal is to get 7. But what is this? Opponent is experiencing network issues. And shortly after this went back to normal, you guys are going to see that the game lags out and it says connection, your peer has been lost. Just like that. Now, this guy came into my chat after, and he actually told me that his internet went out, so it was a little bit of a bummer because that was one of our closer games so far. But as I've said throughout this whole series, if you're playing 25 straight and you're on a time crunch, I'm not going to complain about free wins. So we get the victory. We move on to 11-1. We move on to our next game, and we matched up with Cholo Visions. Now, I've played this guy before. He is a top 100 type guy. He has my number. He knows exactly. He doesn't actually have my number, but he knows exactly what I want to do on offense and defense. We played a few times, and so I know this is going to be a pretty good game. He's starting on the offensive side of the ball. A nice spin move from his Cordero, and he gets inside the red zone to the 14. From here, I'm really hoping we can get a stop because the red zone is the dead zone, but he has a nice dot. And that kind of scared me because it's like, yo, this guy had a pretty flawless first drive. Right there, I clicked on and it said out of reach. I think if I don't click on right there, he probably goes up and hits the guy, maybe. But we followed up with just an embarrassing read. That, I'm allowed one Stevie every game. That was it. And a lot of times my bad reads tend to come on the very first play of the game. I don't know why. It's like the first play of the game, I'm just a little like shaken. That's not a good thing. I don't want to be shaken. But we hold strong in the red zone. We get a sack on third down. He's forced to take his 3. So the score is now 10-0. And I am now down 2 possessions. So this is a pretty bad situation to be in. Thankfully, I'm getting the ball in the second half. So if I can go down, cut this to a 1-possession lead, get the ball back in the second half, we're not going to be in a bad spot anymore. So again, late in the first quarter, my goal here is kind of to chew clock. I don't think I'm going to be able to chew off the entire second quarter, especially when I run the seams play right here. You guys are going to see me throw this again. Just wait on the route bounce. The guy will come back, and there's a ton of space right there. We spin to the outside. We get tackled at the 22, and now this is the dot of the game for me so far. We're looking at the running back wheel. We throw it, and it's right over Jack Tatum's head. That one made my asshole pucker up. I thought Jack Tatum was going to jump up and intercept that, and that might have been GG's at that point if he did. But we get the touchdown and cut the lead to 3 points. Randy Moss, the little mini version of Randy Moss, is 99 speed, gets a catch on a post route, gives my opponent the ball across midfield, now at the 37. Throwing it deep again. Another great read by him. These are just open reads, honestly. And he's driving down the field with ease on us. Now inside the red zone. 1st and 10. He's dropping back. And Ed Reed with the diving mid-zone KO acrobat pick. If you take a look at the replay right here, the hitch was open for a second, but he waits as Ed Reed drives down, and then Ed Reed lights up, makes the diving catch, and gives us the ball with 2 minutes in the first half. An opportunity to take the lead, and that's all we needed. Now, as long as I don't screw this up, we're going to be looking okay going to the second half. And I had to say that because I knew I was about to screw up right there. Now, it might have looked like that was a bad read, but I'm going to show you guys at the end of the game. I got super ultra mega cheated. That was actually going to be a fucking crazy dot, but we got pretty unlucky on that one. So it gives him the ball right back. He's at the 10, and now time's ticking in the first half. We tackle him inside the 10. It gives him an opportunity to chew clock even more. So at this point, he's looking to go up by 2 possessions going into the second half. And that's going to kind of screw us here because in Madden 22, it's incredibly difficult to come back from 2 possessions in the second half against a good offensive player. Thankfully for us, Randy Moss burns his guy. We fire it up top, and the ball is crazy underthrown. Randy Moss had about 5-10 yards of separation on those guys, but the ball was not delivered on time. I don't know if that was my fault. I probably should have just bullet past that. And right there, we almost get the tipped interception that would have been a touchdown, but we do not. And so he has a 10-point lead now towards the end of the first half. He throws something over the middle, makes a crazy catch with Moss, and he gets almost within field goal range. He's at the 42 with Justin Tucker. The kick is up and thankfully no good. And so we go into halftime, getting the ball back, down 10. So what we need to do here is score on this drive. We need to make sure we get at least 3 points and do it as quickly as possible, and then hope we can get a stop on our next drive. We go with a 1-play touchdown coming out of half. We get it. Randy Moss streaking down the field, catches it, and we get the quick touchdown that we needed. Now we're only down 3 points right now. Psych, we're going for 2, baby. So if we get this, we're only going to be down 2. Darren Waller wide open. We get the 2-point conversion. So 17-15 game. We're still early in the second half, so we got plenty of time to make this comeback, and I'm actually feeling good at this point. I feel like we got a little momentum with that big bomb, and now if we can just play some solid defense, get a stop, I think we're going to be sitting pretty. So 2nd and 10 now. He's at the 37. We got 3 minutes left in the third, and he goes up top to his little miniature boy, Randy Moss. And I should have known, man. I shaded over the top with Mike Haynes, but Moss with 99 speed, I don't know if he's ever able to play that. It looked like he was step for step with him until the last second. So that was a risky throw by him, but it pays off, and he gets a touchdown right back. So just like that, we're down 2 possessions again. This time, though, we're only down 9. So if I score another touchdown, I go for 2 again, then he scores again, and then I score again and go for 2 again. We can erase that lead, okay? As long as these 2 points keep flowing, that's the way I'm seeing it. We don't need to actually get a stop as long as we keep scoring quickly and getting our 2-point conversions. That's all we really need. But unfortunately, we get a big sack right there. We get caught in a 3rd and long from the 40. I feel a little uneasy about going all the way for the first down. So we do play for a field goal, which is a conservative play call, but I felt like it was the safest bet because we're still in the 3rd quarter. We get a field goal right here. We're only going to be down, 6 points. And so if we get one more stop, score a touchdown, we actually win this game. Now, the hardest part of this is going to be getting a stop because that's something we haven't really done yet this game. But we get a big sack there on first down, puts him in a 2nd and 17. Again, playing some pretty nice defense. Looks like he was throwing it to my user, but he got hit as he threw it. And so now he's caught in a 3rd and very long. He throws it to the running back. We get out of reach, and then Ronnie Lott, once again, just looking pretty slow. If we take another look, we try to go for the pick, and then as we clicked onto Ronnie Lott, we kind of stopped his feet, and he's able to get a full first down on that 3rd and very long, and that was just heartbreaking. Thankfully, the defense comes up big again with the sack. We get him in a 4th and 12, but the game, again, I'm calling from my recent plays. I was calling 2-4-5 odd every single time for my recent plays. Then on 4th down, it suddenly takes me back to coach suggestions. I spammed the same button that I'd been calling, and it called a random ass play. And I didn't want to waste a timeout because we're late in the 4th quarter and I might need those. I should have wasted a timeout looking back because I wasn't in my defense, and he converts the 4th down. With that, he gets inside field goal range, and now the game's pretty much over because a field goal here makes it a 2-possession game. We're still playing really aggressive, though. He's deciding to pass still on 1st and 10. He throws it intentional grounding. That knocks him back about 10 yards. He's now at the 35. We send some heat again. We get a sack, and now he's out of field goal range. So on 3rd and very long, he needs about 5 yards to get in field goal range and ice this game. But there's only a minute 30 on the clock. So this is the play of the game. We're sending a crazy blitz right here. We got some pretty good coverage. He throws it at a soft squat, and it's an inaccurate pass that prevents it from being swatted down. I slapped the shit out of that little dummy behind me, made me feel a little bit better, and just like that, the game's essentially over. All he needed to do was run the ball. He decides to pass, and we drop a pick again. It's just one punch to the gut after another. This time, it's Ed Reed going up and not getting it, and so just like that, the game's over. Psych again, bitch. This dude missed the field goal. I think he just kicked it really fast before he moved the cursor, and because of that, he missed. So we got super lucky right there. Despite everything that happened on that drive, the Madden gods looked out for us. We got lucky and he missed the kick, and now we need to go down and get 7. But we only have about 15 seconds left on the clock and 1 timeout, so this is going to be tough. But we run inside cross, our baby. We love this play. He runs match coverage, and Randy Moss is streaking down the field. And with 10 seconds on the clock, we get the craziest comeback I've had this year. He's in field goal range. He misses the field goal, and with very little time remaining, we drive down and get the touchdown to win the game. So at this point, there's about 10 seconds left on the clock. We're up by 1, and he's got 1 to 2 shots to maybe get a field goal and win this game. We send a little bit of heat at him. We don't get any sheds. And then eventually we get the tackle, and that is going to end the game. He doesn't even call his last time out. This guy was must have been demoralized, and I don't blame him because holy hell. So he's on this guy. It's man coverage, it looks like, because he goes in with the post, and then, so it's man coverage, right? He's manned up on 84. I read that, and I see Darren Waller taking off upfield, and there's no one there. So I throw it to Darren Waller. Darren Waller then smacks into him. That's horrible. So despite a few really unlucky things happening to us throughout the entirety of that game, we got super lucky at the end. We took advantage of that and ended up winning that game, keeping the win streak alive. So still only 1 loss on the weekend. And again, that gave us all the momentum in the world. So coming out in this game, we got to just try our best not to screw it up. But as you guys know, anytime I start a game on offense, I throw a pick. So I'm fully expecting that going into this game. And this opponent, as you can see, is just loving to run the ball. He's running the ball a lot. 1st, 2nd, 3rd down. This time he goes with a pass, almost picked off, almost broken up, but he keeps his drive alive. And now it's looking like he's passing a little bit. Once again, throwing something that looks pretty covered. We just do not get the animation we needed. And from there, he runs the ball and gets 7 early. So that is always super demoralizing starting off a drive where you give up 7 like that, because now the pressure's on your O. You got to go down and get 7. And best case scenario, you tie up the game. And that's actually why I've been going for 2 lately, is because best case scenario, you take a 1-point lead. But we kind of spazzed out right there, honestly. I told you 1 Stevie a game we get. I literally just threw it to the wrong button. I was trying to throw it to my outside zig route, pressed the wrong button, my hand just spazzed out, and I deserve that pick, 100%. So now we're down 14-0, only 140 left in the first half, and we are getting the ball back in the second half, so our goal here, go down, get 7, take up the rest of the clock, and then get the ball back in the second half, and hopefully get another touchdown and take a lead with a 2-point conversion. Darren Waller on the delay fade gets a really nice catch. Now we are in opponent territory at the 24. There's only 37 seconds left on the clock here. We throw it over the middle to our running back, Cordero, getting another nice chunky yardage inside the 10 now. And from here, we wanted to let the clock drip a little bit, but just knowing how my opponent played that first drive, I know he loves to run the ball. So if we only give him 24 seconds, I'm not really too worried about him driving down the field because, as I said, he's going to be trying to run the ball and stuff. He's not going to have time to pass. We get the 2-point conversion, so now we're only down 6. And going into the second half, he tries to onside kick us. We get it, thankfully. But now we can actually take the lead. So if I only kick my extra point, and then I go for another touchdown here and kick my extra point again, best case scenario, we tie up the game. But like I said, with those 2-point conversions, we now are in an opportunity to take the lead here. On 3rd and goal, we tried to throw up top to an open receiver. It was overthrown, unfortunately. We tried to throw the exact same thing on 4th and goal, but we didn't even make a read because my opponent adjusted his coverage. And so he gets an interception despite our entire drive taking us to the 3-yard line. We walk away with 0 points. So now he's got a 6-point lead with the ball. And you see he's under center trying to run the ball, chew clock. And our goal here, obviously, try to stop the run, but it can be pretty difficult sometimes, especially when Marshawn Lynch is in there bouncing around like a pinball. So now 2nd and 10 here. We're sending some pretty aggressive pressure at him. Really hoping he makes a bad read, and he waits on the post. That was where my user probably should have been. And honestly, a great read from him, and that's just a kill shot to us. Because now he's inside the red zone. He chewed down more clock. We thankfully had a goal line stand, and he takes his 3. So now the game is 17-8. We're down 2 full possessions with only 3 minutes on the clock. So we got to go down, score as quickly as possible, even if it's only 3 points, because 3 points here still puts us in a position to win the game if we can. And we end up finding a route bounce, a playmaker up the sideline. That is Cordero Patterson, our MVP, and he gets inside opponent territory to the 28. From here, we go with a deep corner route on the left side of the field. We were either looking to the right or the left. His user ran right, so we start looking left. We throw the corner route, and a great throw and catch, and just like that, we got the quick touchdown we needed. So now we're only down 2 minutes on the clock. My opponent's under center, obviously trying to run the ball, trying to get a couple first downs and end this game. But when we know that's coming, we could stop the run. We get him in a 4th and 10. He's got a pass now, and we bite down and lurk the running back route. I gotta say, I think because of the last drive, he assumed my user would go back with the post, and I probably should have done that. But playing aggressive paid off there big time, so we get the ball in his territory, down 2. All we need to do is get a first down and chew clock, and Dan Marino absolutely sells me on an inaccurate pass. There wasn't even any pressure, so we go right back to it on 3rd down. This time it's a little bit covered, but George Kittle and his big body makes a great catch. We get the first down, chew down the clock, and take our field goal to win the game. And if you guys are looking at the score, what won us that game, besides the stop there at the end, was our 2-point conversion. I'm telling you guys from the start, if you have 2-point conversions in your arsenal, it's going to pay off. And getting in this last game for the video, we matched up with a familiar face, Princey D, the homie, and he actually just quits out. It was a Sunday night. He just decided to give us a victory, and so we finished with a record of 14-1, and we save a little bit of time in the process. If you guys want to see games 16 through 20, tune in tomorrow, and we will continue this series, and you guys can see how we finish Weekend League. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys there.
Now I'm on the outside.